Rotifer wheel mouth. In a single drop of pond water, a tiny animal opens a living wheel. It is not a monster. It is not a myth. It is a rotifer, one of the smallest complete animals on Earth. Under the microscope, it looks almost impossible. A transparent body, a beating crown, a mouth that seems to spin like machinery. Inside its glass-like skin, food moves through the real digestive system. Muscles pull, organs work, eggs form, jaws grind, and all of this is happening in a creature so small that hundreds of them could live unnoticed in the water clinging to a leaf. The name rotifer comes from the idea of a wheelbearer. It refers to the strange crown of tiny moving hairs around the head, called the corona. When these hairs, or cilia, beat in waves, they create the illusion of spinning wheels. But the rotifer does not have a true rotating wheel. Nature did not build it with a turning gear. Instead, thousands of tiny movements blend together so fast that the eye sees rotation. That illusion is what makes the rotifer famous. It looks like a wheel-mouth animal. But this wheel is not for decoration. It is a survival machine. Rotifers are microscopic aquatic animals belonging to the phylum Rotifera. They are not bacteria. They are not algae. They are not single-celled protists. They are real multicellular animals with tissues, muscles, nerves, a digestive tract, reproductive organs, and a tiny grinding structure that works like jaws. Most rotifers are only about 0.1 to 0.5 millimeters long. Many are smaller than the tip of a needle. Some are larger and can reach around a millimeter or more, but most live completely beyond normal human vision. Under a microscope, their bodies can look transparent, pale, glassy, or slightly colored depending on food, lighting, and species. Some are long and worm-like. Some are round and armored. Some look like tiny bags with tails. Some carry a hard outer covering called a lorica, almost like a microscopic shell. Others are soft and flexible, able to stretch, contract, and fold their bodies like living telescopes. A typical rotifer has three main body regions: the head, the trunk, and the foot. The head carries the corona, the famous wheel-like crown of cilia. The trunk holds most of the internal organs. The foot, when present, may end in tiny toes with adhesive glands. These glands help the rotifer attach itself to plants, mud, algae, or debris. Inside the mouth area is one of the most important rotifer organs, the mastax. This is a muscular pharynx containing hard jaw-like parts called trophy. These trophy crush, grind, pierce, or manipulate food depending on the species. In some rotifers, they work like a mill. In others, they work more like pincers. For such a tiny animal, the rotifer is shockingly complete. It can sense its world. Many species have simple eye spots that detect light. Some have sensory bristles. Some respond to chemicals, touch, vibration, and changes in water movement. It does not think like a large animal, but it is not passive dust. It reacts, it searches, it feeds, it escapes. Rotifers live in some of the most overlooked habitats on Earth. They are common in ponds, lakes, rivers, ditches, puddles, wetlands, and slow-moving water. Many live in freshwater, but some species live in brackish or marine environments. Others survive in thin films of water around soil particles, mosses, lichens, leaf litter, tree bark, mushrooms, and temporary pools that may appear after rain and vanish days later. To a human, a damp patch of moss may look silent. To a rotifer, it may be a forest. A stem of algae becomes a feeding platform. A grain of mud becomes a cliff. A film of water around a particle of soil becomes a whole ocean. Some rotifers drift freely as plankton. Some swim through open water. Some crawl along surfaces. Some attach themselves and feed from one place, like microscopic sea anemones. A few live in colonies. Some rare species live in association with other animals, and some are parasitic on small invertebrates or other organisms. But most rotifers are free-living and harmless. Their movement depends on their body type. Free-swimming rotifers use the beating cilia of the corona to pull themselves through water. The same crown that gathers food can also help move the animal forward. Other rotifers creep like tiny inchworms. They attach the foot, stretch the body forward, attach the head, release the foot, and pull the body along. Some retract suddenly when disturbed. Others remain anchored, drawing food toward themselves with invisible currents. The movement may look gentle, but at the microscopic scale, water feels thick. For a creature this small, swimming through water is not like a fish moving through a lake. It is more like a human trying to move through honey. Every motion matters. Every cilium becomes a tool. And the corona is the center of everything. When the cilia beat, they create currents. These currents pull bacteria, algae, tiny particles, protozoa, detritus, and suspended organic matter toward the mouth. The rotifer is not chewing big chunks of food like a larger animal. It is harvesting the invisible rain of microscopic life. Some rotifers are filter feeders. They create a current, sort particles, and guide food into the mouth. Others are more predatory. They may capture protozoa, small algae, or even other tiny animals. Some raptorial rotifers use their mastax like jaws to seize or pierce prey. Some trap food with funnel-shaped structures and bristles. The food then moves into the digestive tract. The mastax grinds it. The stomach breaks it down. Nutrients are absorbed. Waste leaves the body. This is why rotifers matter. They connect the microbial world to the animal world. Bacteria and algae are too small for many larger animals to eat directly. Rotifers feed on those tiny resources and then become food for larger creatures. Copepods, insect larvae, small crustaceans, baby fish, and many other aquatic animals. In this way, rotifers help move energy upward through the food chain. They are not the most visible animals in a pond, but they help keep the pond alive. Rotifers also help recycle nutrients. By feeding on bacteria, algae, detritus, and organic particles, they take part in the breakdown and movement of matter through water ecosystems. Their presence, absence, and abundance can tell scientists something about water conditions, food availability, and ecological balance. In aquaculture, rotifers are especially important. Some species, especially in the genus Brachionis, are cultured as live food for fish larvae. Many newly hatched fish are too small to eat larger prey. Rotifers are small enough, soft enough, and active enough to become a first food in hatcheries. Without microscopic live food, many young fish would struggle to survive their earliest days. But the rotifer's life is also dangerous. A rotifer may be eaten by copepods, water fleas, insect larvae, nematodes, predatory rotifers, tiny crustaceans, and even some aquatic plants, such as bladderworts that trap small organisms. Fungi can infect rotifers in their eggs. Drying water can kill active individuals. Pollution, extreme temperature, lack of oxygen, and lack of food can destroy local populations. Their world is full of threats, yet rotifers have survived by becoming fast, flexible, and strangely resilient. Many rotifers reproduce quickly. Parthenogenesis, or reproduction from unfertilized eggs, is common. In favorable conditions, females can produce daughters without mating. This allows rotifer populations to grow very fast when food is available and water conditions are good. In some groups, especially monogonous rotifers, the life cycle can shift. During good times, females produce eggs that develop into more females. When conditions become stressful, sexual reproduction may appear. Males, when present, are often tiny, short-lived, and greatly reduced. In many species, they do not feed. Their main role is to fertilize eggs. Those fertilized eggs can become resting eggs. Resting eggs are built for waiting. They have tougher shells. They can survive unfavorable conditions better than active rotifers. They may remain dormant until the environment improves. When water returns, temperature changes, light conditions shift, or other cues become favorable, the egg can hatch and restart the population. This is one of the great secrets of temporary ponds. A puddle may dry, the rotifers may vanish, but the future may still be hidden in the mud. Then rain falls, the resting eggs awaken, a world returns. Some rotifers, especially bedelloid rotifers, are famous for an even more dramatic survival ability called anhydrobiosis, life without water. When their habitat dries, certain bedelloid rotifers can lose most of their body water, contract into a resistant form, and enter a state of suspended activity. They are not living normally during this time. They are paused. Their metabolism drops extremely low. When water returns, many can rehydrate and become active again. This does not mean every rotifer can survive any disaster. It does not mean rotifers are immortal. Survival depends on species, life stage, drying speed, temperature, humidity, and many other conditions. Some survive drying well. Others do not. But the ability is still extraordinary. For scientists, anhydrobiosis is one of the reasons rotifers are so fascinating. How can an animal dry out without its cells collapsing? How can proteins and membranes avoid damage? What molecules protect them during dehydration? Studies of bdelloid rotifers have helped researchers explore these questions, and the answers may even help us understand how fragile biological materials might be preserved. Rotifers are also important in aging research. Many have short lifespans, often measured in days or weeks. Some recorded lifespans range from under a week to around a month or more, depending on species and conditions. Because they reproduce quickly and can be raised in large numbers, rotifers are useful for laboratory studies of life history, population growth, stress, and aging. Their lives are short, but their lineage is ancient. The exact deep evolutionary origin of rotifers is not fully known, partly because their soft bodies rarely fossilize. Most of a rotifer's body disappears without leaving a trace. The harder mouth parts, the trophy, have a better chance of preservation, but they are so tiny that finding them in fossils is difficult. Some fossil rotifers have been reported from amber and ancient peat, but the fossil record remains limited. This means rotifers carry a long history written mostly in living bodies, genes, and anatomy rather than stone. Humans first began to understand them through microscopes. Early microscopists opened a hidden universe in drops of water, and rotifers became some of the most memorable animalcules ever seen. Their spinning crowns, transparent bodies, and sudden movements made them unforgettable. Even today, rotifers are among the best creatures for showing people that microscopic life is not simple. A rotifer is small, but it is not primitive in the way many people imagine. It has a working body plan. It has specialized structures. It has behaviors. It has ecological roles. It survives in ponds, moss, soil, in temporary water pockets that most of us never notice. It can swim with cilia. It can crawl with its foot. It can grind food with microscopic jaws. It can reproduce rapidly when conditions are good. Some can wait through harsh times as resting eggs. Some can dry without dying. And most importantly, it reminds us that nature's greatest engineering is not always large. A tiger is powerful. A whale is massive. An eagle is majestic. But a rotifer carries a complete animal life inside a body smaller than a grain of sand. It lives where water clings to moss. It feeds where bacteria bloom. It becomes food for the next generation of larger life. It helps recycle the remains of the dead. It turns invisible particles into living motion. The wheel mouth is not a monster. It is a worker in the hidden world. A tiny animal, a living filter, a survivor of drying ponds, a bridge between microbes and fish, a creature so small that we almost never see it, yet important enough that entire ecosystems would be different without it. So the next time you pass a pond, a puddle, or a patch of wet moss, remember this. There may be wheels turning there, not made of metal, not built by human hands, but made of life. Invisible crowns beating in silence. Tiny jaws grinding in clear bodies. Microscopic animals moving through a world we usually ignore. The rotifer proves that even in the smallest drop of water, nature is not empty. It is alive. It is ancient. And it is still turning.